TiVo is one of several set-top box data companies, but I suspect it has a unique position. And can you talk about TiVo's use, ownership, and perspective on set-top box data?
Absolutely. So one of the things I inherited by nature of working for TIVO is something that really sets us apart and is actually a huge sort of advantage that, again, I just inherited by virtue of working at TIVO. We built our own set-top boxes. We built the software that runs on those set-top boxes. We deployed those set-top boxes to our own subscribers who are paying us to have those set-top boxes in their living room, which means we own the data. So we have our own privacy policy with our consumers. We set all the conditions that we live up to with our subscribers on what we can do with the data, and based on how we control that, it's up to us what we do. Most anybody else who's in the set-top box research industry finds themselves dependent on finding data somewhere. We don't have to do that. So it gives us a lot of control over what we can do with the data. It also gives us a great advantage in terms of the reliability and the assuredness of quality of our data, because we built those boxes, we built the software on it. And one of the things that I think people have started to really come to understand about set-top box data is you have to be aware of a garbage in, garbage out sort of scenario. Just because these are digital devices and set-tops doesn't necessarily mean that they're producing what I would call reliable or data that lives up to the standards that you need it to. At TiVo, we have full control over that, so I actually have full and high confidence in the veracity of our data, largely again because we get to control it.
How does the TiVo subscriber population differ from other set-top box populations and even the standard measurement of the Nielsen population? Is there a difference?
Sure. There certainly is a difference, and we don't ever try to hide that or pretend it's anything other than what it is. TiVo subscribers differ from the U.S. population in a couple of ways. One is that they tend to be a little more higher educated. They tend to have a little more income. They skew a little bit toward urban, but not so much. We do have subscribers in every DMA, thousands of subscribers in every DMA. And those are really the main factors. The interesting thing is that's different than the U.S. population, but it is not so different from the DVR population. So when we actually line up our subscriber profile versus cable DVR and satellite DVR, they actually are pretty close.
You spoke about cross-platform applications. Can you talk about how the TiVo box helps combine different data streams, if I understand that correctly?
Sure. And some of it's a TiVo box. Largely, it's also our relationship directly with the subscriber that allows us to manage their privacy choices and allows us to, with their permission, use data in different ways. So the box itself is engineered such that it is obviously what some people would call a media center. It is now not only recording over-the-air television content, it is bringing internet content to the television screen either straight from the web or from movie places, sites, premium content like the Amazon relationship, the Blockbuster relationship, the Netflix relationship. All of that moves through the TiVo. So by the nature of building those boxes and the software that is doing all that magic for the consumer, we also make sure that we are able to track all that. So, so technical capability of keeping track of all of that stuff going on in the box is there, and it's largely because we are writing the software that runs on the box. In terms of then combining or thinking about even additional streams of data that one would love to marry with television data, like we've done, for instance, with some internet data with a partnership with Quantcast. Our ability to do that is largely a function not only of our technical ownership of the box itself, but of our relationship with our subscribers. So we were able to directly solicit a group of volunteers, a large group of volunteers, 35,000 volunteers, who were very willing to agree to have their data shared in that anonymously, but in a sense that in ways we can use it and marry it, for instance, with internet data to give a single source view of internet behavior and television behavior in the same home. There's multiple things you need in place to make that happen, but I think the largest is our direct subscriber relationship, which allows us to facilitate things like that.